Konanska, ja cricket kabacha hey. Hello everybody, it's the Cricket Kid and welcome to part 3 of my coaching session with Invicta Cricket, and this time we're looking off playing off the back foot.
Shot. Or bounce. Shot. Woo. You trying to run that one down? Too tight to, when it's a little bit wider. Some balls that you might normally back foot drive, you might be able to run down. Again, on a good wicket like this, absolutely fine. Get out onto a grass wicket where you can't quite trust the bounce, then that's not a great shot. I'd always much rather you back foot drove one than late cut one, okay?
So, a great point there by Dave was that when the ball was too close to me, I was not going to run it down, because there I'm probably just going to nick it off, and there's no point in playing it because we can't score runs in the pavilion. Because if it's wide, then I can cut it. If it's at me, I can defend it. But those that are just at me and a bit outside off stump, I can just leave alone.
Good shot, good hands. Well played. How did that one feel? Did that feel powerful? Okay, why is that? Yeah, good. So, because basically you stepped a little bit out that way, you then kind of didn't really free your arms. You kept your arms the same. So it was really just to kind of, you put the bat there rather than actually, I think on all of your pull shots so far, they've been very sort of spinny, and you've kind of ended up facing over that way. As much as possible, whether it's on the front foot or the back foot, so you go forward there or you go back here, just try and focus on staying facing down the wicket for as long as possible. Don't worry about where the ball's gone. When you're practicing like this, face down the wicket, back foot, face down the wicket, all right? Because then you've got a solid base.
So here's the second tip now from Dave. The first bit was to stay on my shot when I was trying to pull the ball, because I was trying to spin around like this when I'm actually supposed to stay planted and hit the ball to the leg side. The second bit on that is not pulling the ball from too far outside off stump, because that is quite a risky shot. Now here's an example from very early on in the season where I pulled one from outside off stump on my first ball and got out.
A bit wide. You like from some of the videos I've seen, you like a pull from quite wide as well, don't you? So a couple of them you played quite well. It's just risky, you know. You're much better off pulling. There might be a width that is, you're just naturally very good at pulling, which is fine. But as soon as you get a bit wider than that and you start pulling, it's hard to control. It was a bit full. Sorry. Good shot though.
So what I've been trying to work on is, if it's outside off stump, I've got a pretty decent cut, so that's a much safer shot to play it down to point, instead of playing a risky shot onto the leg side.
Okay, see how you've sort of spun too early. All right, so it's like facing this type of bowling, no one likes it, okay? But you've just got to try and be as still as possible, okay? So once you get into the position, if you prefer pulling off the back foot, that's fine, but get back and across, right in line with the ball. If you miss it, the ball should essentially hit you in the middle of the chest, okay, or in the stomach, because you should just be right there. If you get a little bit here and this left foot starts going that way, suddenly the ball's here and your body's that way. It's harder to pull, okay? If square leg was back on the boundary, but mid wicket was up, and I wanted to hit a boundary or hit a six, I would go onto the front foot, especially if the bowler's not that quick. I'd go onto the front foot and I'd hit over mid-wicket or just in front of square leg. Now, if mid-wicket was out but square leg was up, I'd probably go on the back foot and I'd hit behind. All right, so that's a really easy way to look at it. It's quite important these days that you can do both. So practice pulling off the front foot, practice pulling off the back foot, and just think about where you're hitting it. So not only then, like if the ball's wider, obviously you hit the ball straighter off the front or the back foot, but also you can just think about if you get on the front foot, you hit it straighter. If you get on the back foot, you hit it a bit squarer.
Now this was something that I was really new to. It was pulling off the front foot. Now, if you want it to go mid-wicket or to mid-on, that's when you're gonna pull off the front foot to get your direction right. And when you're pulling off the back foot, that's when you want to get the ball to like the square leg area, like this. I'm just gonna have a few tennis balls now. Check it out. One more on the front foot here. So can you see there how I've tried to stay on my shot and not spin around? Last one now. So that's it. Some really great helpful tips from Dave from Invicta Cricket. I really enjoyed it. I hope you do too, and I'll see you next time.